Okay, welcome and hello. My name is Peter, and today, here in the 7th month of the year 2021, it is time for some drawing with gel pens. Gel, of course, is short for gellular, and thank you for Squarespace for sponsoring this video. The pens I'm going to be using today, actually just one pen, even though we'll look at two. Address that in a second. Both of these pens are stainless steel and extremely minimalistic, and I like them a lot. A lot of the time when we look at gel pens and a lot of the appeal of gel pens, if you go into the aisle of an arts and crafts store or the office supply store, anywhere, even like Walmart or Target, if you look at gel pens, a lot of times they're offered in multi-packs with lots and lots of colors, but gel pens are also really satisfying just to draw with in black because they do draw very nice, crisp, dark, consistent lines. And a long time ago, near the beginning of my art journey, I did draw a lot with gel pens and they served me well. And so I'm trying to say I'm glad to go back to them briefly here. And these steel pens are refillable. You can put different gel pen cartridges in them, so they're a little bit flexible and customizable like that. I could probably put different colored gel cartridges in them. All right, so this is the pen that we've been drawing with, the ATELEIA pen. I think that's all it's called. And as you can see, when you have the lid on it, it pretty much just looks like a nondescript, highly polished or brushed rod of stainless steel. Now, here's a little square doodle about Squarespace. Squarespace makes it very easy to create, host, customize your own websites, even if you don't know anything about making websites. If you have any art projects going or business ideas, go ahead and scroll through all of Squarespace's really polished and professional looking templates. Customize it as much or as little as you want to. It's really hard to make it look bad, and then you're out there on the internet ready for people to interact with what you've got going on. It's really fun to mess around with and figure out what kind of website you want to make for yourself. And after all, it's 2021, at least at the time of me recording this. You might be listening to this later. So go to squarespace.com for your free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/PeterDraws for 10% off your first website or domain. However, this is not the original pen I sat down to review and draw with today. Originally, I sat down to use this pen, which is called the CW&T Pen Type-A Architect Scale in metric. You can see here that on this side, there's a 1 centimeter ruler, and then it goes on to have like different scales, like this is 1 to 20, 1 to 200, 1 to 125. So architects use stuff like that, but usually they have their own dedicated rulers for such things, or more than likely computer programs. But there is a lot of satisfying stuff going on here. You might notice, just the lines here. It's just the precision machining of this pen sends off all sorts of happy fireworks in my head. The corners of this part here, if a 90-degree angle could be sharp enough to cut, maybe it could be. This is extremely close. It's just so sharp. These corners are extremely sharp. I mean, can you see that? It's just so satisfying to hold it, to feel it. It feels amazing. All these little lines here, you can feel them. And then now here, this is the most amazing part. As I pull the pen, this whole part is the lid, the holder for the pen. Listen to this. Ooh, amazing. I'm going to put it back in there. It fits perfectly, slides right down. And at the end, there's like a magnet, or the advertisement said there was pneumatics involved. I'm not sure what that means. Is that air suction? It sucks itself back into place, and then we pull it back out again. Oh, it's so satisfying just to put it in and out. It feels great. It makes me really happy. However, something heartbreaking happened to me when I was first unboxing and using this pen. I was filming a little review, and I had just started drawing with it, And I stood up, I think, to grab something on that table over there. And it's just, this pen is heavy. It's much heavier than a normal pen and much smoother. And I stood up and it slid right out of my hand, just like this. And it careened, it jetted right down to my hard kitchen tile floors like some sort of bunker buster missile. And the tip just smashed into the floor and bent completely sideways. And it hurt my soul a little bit, of course, as it would anybody. Unfortunately, the pen wasn't working that good to start off with, but I think it's more an issue with the refillable cartridge that's in here. And I'm unscrewing the back here. You can see that you can just unscrew it. You take this little plug out. It's got like a little O-ring. Oops. And then you pull it out. So I think this is the defective part that bent, and I bent it back. And yeah, it's just not working. It wasn't working that well before. I think maybe the cartridge was a little bit faulty or dried out or something. But all hope is not lost. Maybe I can do another video with this pen in the future once I order another refillable cartridge for this, or replaceable, or whatever it is, right? Because the pen itself, this part, the nice part, is in perfect working condition. It's extremely satisfying. I love sliding it in and out. It doesn't work as well when the cartridge isn't in there, because then it's not airtight. Slides right in there. This pen is $166. The quality is there, but even more minimalistic is this pen, the one we're drawing with today. And this is, I think, the maximalization of minimalism. I mean, look at it. With the lid on, it doesn't even look like a pen. There are no defining features about it anywhere except for this faint line around the cap. You take the cap off, and even the cap itself is just like a solid piece of metal with a hole drilled into it. Oh, it's just, I'm almost in awe of it. I like it a lot. Now, what I haven't tried doing yet is it came with this little kit, which I think this wrench has to be for opening it. So we should try opening it. Oh, all right. So it pops right out. And that's what's in there. We've got a replaceable refill. And I guess these are blanks to put in the back in case you want to use a cartridge of a shorter length so that the spring is still effective, right? I'm going to put the spring back in there, put the cartridge in there, and I'm not sure what the difference between these two things is. Maybe it's just a replacement if you lose one. It looks great though. The packaging it came in is similarly minimal and just simple, just pieces of cardboard. Not a lot to it, which I'm always a fan of, because you know that then the packaging isn't what's driving up the price. This pen, I think, was $106. I bought both of these on jet pens. This pen, the architect scale one, simply came in a plastic tube. A paper tube just like this. That's how it arrived. You can also get it in inches, but I got metric because metric's so much more satisfying. Everything divided into even tens. Ooh. So there you have it, the ATELEIA pen. Okay, so after recording that part of the video, and before recording this part of the commentary, I already went online and ordered one refill for each of these pens, so that just in case they do fall out of my hands, it's fine. If I do break any more nibs, I'll have replacements. Each refill was only like between $1 and $2, and that way $100 plus pens aren't put out of commission by my clumsiness or my butter fingers. And the pens really are really are expensive. I know, I admit that. $106 or whatever, 166. I probably would not have bought them so willy-nilly. Bought both of them, okay, if I wasn't going to be making pen reviews about them. I do take kind of a few liberties. I buy things more than I probably would just because I have a channel where I can review them, and I kind of justify things that way. So, take it with a grain of salt, but they really should last like a long time. If they truly are made out of stainless steel. I mean, they feel like it. I don't know what else they would be made out of. They do feel solid, and I do like them. Looking at the website, it says that the ATELEIA design, the pen that I'm using and drawing with, can also take the Pilot high-tech C refills that the architect, the CW&T pen. So I could have just bought 2 of those refills, and it could have worked for both pens. I think that CW&T pen can only take the Pilot high-tech C refills, while this ATELEIA pen on the website, it says it can take the Pilot high-tech C refills, Uniball Signo, Fisher. It can even take the Fisher Space Pen refills and Zebra F refills. I'm actually tempted to buy some of those Zebra F refills because I do like Zebra pens. In other news, lately the highlights of my days have been going for walks. I've been walking about 3 miles every day. I know I keep talking about that. Have been enjoying that. I've been listening to like lectures. Lately, I'm listening to lectures just like on general psychology. I just bebop between topics. But what is weird is that I've noticed that I have a strange fantasy. Regardless of the topic of what I've been listening to, my audiobooks or whatever, and they're like trivia fantasies that I find myself going through when I am listening to this stuff, because a lot of the stuff that I hear myself listening to and learning about and finding out about are like weird little facts that really wouldn't ever have any application to my life other than like if I was playing trivia almost. Like sometimes I find myself imagining some sort of conversation I'm in where I hope this little thing I learned would come up in conversation, and I would be able to pipe up and be like, oh, actually this. And then somebody would be like, Peter, how in the world do you possibly know that? And I'll just be like, I'll just shrug, be like, oh, I don't know. I read it somewhere. When I didn't really read it, I heard it, but it's hard to explain. I heard it in an audiobook. But really, every now and then, sometimes, I've gone to like bar trivia or something, and that's like the dream, because I've tucked away a few little things, like, what if the trivia question is like, what instrument did Frederick the Great, King of Prussia, famously play? And then I would be like, ooh, the flute. And then everyone on my team would be like, whoa, Peter, oh, how did you know that? Are you sure, Peter? That's so random. Are you sure it's the flute? Should we put that down? And be like, yep, it's the flute. Trust me. Or don't, you could put down whatever you want, and then I'll be able to say like, I told you so. But then they'll be like, okay, Peter, we're trusting you on this one. We're going to put down the flute. And they're like, yep, it's the flute. And then we put it down, and then the guy reads out the answer, it's the flute. And then everyone's like, yeah, Peter, high five, pats him on the back and everything. Like, these are the little fantasies I find myself constantly running through in my head as I'm listening to these lectures, regardless of the topic. Because, sometimes I do learn like general, useful, helpful things that could be useful in my day-to-day life. But like I said, a lot of it is just little kind of trivial tidbits. Like, what instrument did the King of Prussia play? Or what is, things like monoamine oxidase inhibitors. I think I was learning about that in the psychology thing today. And it's like, I don't need to know what MAOIs are. It's like some kind of drug for depression or something. an old-fashioned drug. Like, I don't think they even use those anymore. But it's just, I don't know. I was wondering if I should be worried about myself, that I really only was enjoying learning about these things because I was getting excited about maybe being able to regurgitate the tidbits later and people being impressed. But it's still interesting enough that I keep listening, regardless that I still have almost never once been able to live out these fantasies. So, I mean, I don't know how long. Maybe if I go 10 years and never live out one of these fantasies, if I'll lose hope. But so far it's been okay. I don't know. Maybe it's normal. Does it happen to anyone else? No? Okay. Also lately, as I've been walking, I've been getting a lot of sun on like my arms, a little bit more on my legs. I've been wearing pretty short shorts, and I wear like crew socks that push down a little bit, and I wear a t-shirt. And sometimes I've been starting to get a bit of a farmer's tan. So sometimes I roll my sleeves up, and so I have like, it looks like kind of like a sleeveless shirt. I roll my sleeves up, bunch them up, and I even notice I have like a little bit of a tan line. Maybe it's sunburnt. I don't think so. I think it's actually a bit of a tan line up on my shoulders. Really, I want to walk around topless. I want to walk around without a shirt on, but really, I don't know if I'm attractive enough to do that. I don't see anyone else doing that in my neighborhood. But also I know I can do that if I want to. No one can stop me, really. I know that no one can stop me. I know it's just up to me, really. If I want to, bad enough, I can. I just don't know if I want it bad enough. I'm very kind of white and pale and flabby is the main issue. And really, the only thing that walking around without a shirt on to get sun all over my top half of my body would accomplish is that I would no longer be white and pale and flabby. I would just be slightly less pale and the same amount of flabby, I guess. But I guess the whole reason I'm walking is to get slightly less flabby. But I also read somewhere lately online that you can't outrun a bad diet. I don't know how true that is, but so I've also been trying to work on my diet and stuff lately. I've been good news. I know I mentioned that I ate at McDonald's a lot. I haven't eaten at McDonald's like much at all recently. So that's good progress. I've been doing much better just eating in. Still, I probably haven't eaten great food at home, but whatever it is, it's much better than whatever I was getting at McDonald's. It's got to be an improvement. So, anyways, thanks for listening. Good to talk to you all. I hope you're all doing okay. Let me know what you're up to, how you're doing, your projects, processes, productions, pending poops, and I'll see you later. Okay, goodbye. Love you. See you.